There does seem to be more there, though, doesn't there?
This is lunch.
Yes. I usually eat lunch around 10 because that's what my lunchtime is, but today I did not have time to because I was doing a store for the second grade. So I'll have to find another time to have lunch.
There's so many.
As you guys are coming in, on the board is your 3 Things Thursday question. You can write your answers on the sticky note.
What does it say?
You can sit wherever you want, Justice. They were just being helpful. What are your 3 favorite types of candy or sweets? So come on in. You have a sticky note on your book. Write it on your sticky note. And guys, here's the deal. I do have something fun planned, but we have a job we need to get done first. So the sooner we get started, the sooner we can get to the fun activity.
I thought it was 1 and not 3.
3 of your favorite types of candy or sweets. I
I
saw you like a minute ago when you came crawling in my room.
Wait, what? You got eyes on your
Crazy, I do. Teachers, you know we have eyes in the back of our head. All right, grab a pen, find your book, write on your yellow sticky note, what are your 3 favorite types of candy or sweets?
It's my favorite. I don't like it.
What do you like that's sweet? Cookies, brownies, cake? It doesn't
What?
have to be candy.
And
It can be candy or sweets.
On accident.
You wrote onions? Oh yeah, I don't know if those are very sweet.
You wrote Brian on accident?
Well, you are a sweet kid, so I suppose.
Is that red Brian?
Is Sarah here today?
Yeah, that's on.
Yeah, okay. I guess we are still about a minute.
Yeah, I was here. Oh, and you took it on video?
Oh, I am. I am recording today's lesson
Why?
because I'm in school still and I have to record a lesson, and today's the lesson I chose to record. So we have to.
Why do you have? Can I say hi, sir? Why do you have to record us?
Because I'm in college, and so in college they have to watch you teach, but it's hard because we all are in different parts of the country.
But you're in
So
college?
so we have to record ourselves to
I
do
thought
lessons.
Vince has college to be here.
I
What
did.
is that?
I'm working on getting
That's the one.
another degree. Oh,
So now you're taking videos of you on.
Yep. All right, 3 favorite types of candy or sweets. We have about 1 minute left to work on this. Is Sunny here today?
No.
Sarah, we said yes. How about Justrin?
No. Just win?
Justrin? She's only been here a couple times, but she started our group last week.
Yeah, just win.
Justrin, right? That's how we say it, Justrin?
I thought you were meaning just
No, not Justice. the new girl who just joined our class last week.
Why are you asking us why do we want these games?
3 Things Thursday. I
Yeah.
always ask you 3 things. Today, because it's Halloween,
If we do our work.
we're not going to do bingo, but I do have something fun planned.
I'm gonna cook.
All right, pens down. Pick your favorite out of your 3. Stick it in your brain. And I'm going to start with Justice. What's your favorite? Sweet or candy? Yes, you did. I saw it on your paper. Sure.
I erased it all.
You erased it all, so you don't like any sweets.
How you got a something?
Sad.
I just like something chewy, like
Chewy like gum. I love it. Demidison. Ooh, M&M cookies. Those are yummy. Catalina. Gum. Ryan. Okay, you pick. I'm coming back to you. There's only one person left. Mateo, pick your favorite.
One.
Just one.
Come back.
What?
to this
I
one.
can't. There's no one left to come back to. I'll share my favorite. My favorite type of sweet is anything chocolate. You give me chocolate, you guys. I love it. It doesn't matter.
Chocolate cookies.
Chocolate cookies, chocolate cake, chocolate ice cream, chocolate
You
candy.
should have said that. I would have got you a bag of chocolate.
Oh, and I really don't need a bag of chocolate. I promise you. But I appreciate that.
Sweet.
What?
Sweet corn.
Sweet corn. I do. There's Miss Sarah. Come on in, darling. Is Justrin out there with you? Miss Justrin?
Where do you guys have snacks?
There she is. Come on in, Miss Justrin. All right, guys, we are going to. Oh, Justrin, I put your book away because I didn't know if you were here, darling. Grab a pen. It's all good. All right, so if you are going trick-or-treating tonight, will you read the content objective with me? I can describe the purpose of text features found in a nonfiction text. Beautiful. If you are not going trick-or-treating tonight, will you read the language objective with me? I can share with my group what I learned from different text features. Beautiful friends, we talked about text features yesterday. Who can raise their hand and tell me an example of a text feature? We looked at different types of text features yesterday. If you want to open your book to page 106 and 107 and remind yourself, you can do that. What is an example of a text feature? Yep, where we were yesterday, 106 and 107. Remember, we looked at this story. We pointed to some different text features. What is a text feature on that page that you remember what it's called? What is that, Sarah? That is a text feature. What is it? Is it a chart?
What page are we on?
106 and 107. Is it a graph?
A graph.
Is it a photograph?
Photograph.
Photograph. What's the difference between a photograph and an illustration? Justice?
A photograph is something that it got taken from a picture, and a illustration that you draw it.
Illustration someone drew, right? Photograph is with a camera. It is real. Illustration is a picture that someone drew. How do photographs and illustrations help us? How do they help us comprehend the story, right? We are a group that's all about comprehension, understanding the story. How do photographs and illustrations help us understand the story? Turn to the person next to you. Tell them how they help us. You two can talk to each other.
It's about a whole word. This picture is
Well, it doesn't hear
like a picture is like worth 400 words. This picture is worth the whole sometimes, and it's worth everything.
How do photographs and illustrations help us understand the text?
Dude, you know this unicorn 4 times?
Well, what do you understand better by looking at that picture? It helps us to visualize what's going on. Because
This is wood. This is
so,
metal.
text features, back to your seats in 3, 2, 1, and done. All right, I need one member of every group to tell me something that your group discussed. Mateo, we'll start with you. What did you guys discuss? How do photographs and illustrations help us understand the text?
Never mind. Yeah.
Oh, I bet you do too, but we'll pass it along to Justice. Go ahead. How do they help us?
Let him.
Oh, you guys both had great ideas. I heard you. Someone share.
He can take my answer. Come on.
All right, I'm going to come back to you.
I
You
told
decide
him
who's
he's not
talking.
answer.
Sarah, Ryan, Demartison, what's something you guys talked about? You three were talking together. What's something you talked about? How do they help us? How does a picture help us understand the words in the story? Okay, to know if it's realistic or not.
To know if they are taking a picture or not.
Okay, so we can tell the difference if it's a drawing or a picture, but how does that help us understand the story? We talked yesterday. Do you guys remember when I said a picture is worth 1,000 words? And we talked about how if I looked, I'm going to steal your book for a second. If I looked at this picture, it would take me a lot of words to tell you what was going on, right? There's a lot of stuff to describe in this picture, but a picture helps us, we can see it. We can visually see what is going on, so it helps us understand those words better. Okay, so we are going to talk about some different text features today in the story. Oh, you guys came up with yours? Okay, share it away.
It's kind of like this, but it's also like this. The photograph is like worth the whole story that you're reading about.
Exactly, that photograph, sometimes everything the story is about could be included in the photograph. Beautiful. You guys, if you would turn your books back to page 103 and use your clipping, because we're also going to use 109. Okay, so 103 and 109. If you don't have your clipping at this point, I don't know what to tell you, friends. I've given you out clips like 3 or 4 times. And I like literally have no clips left that are big enough. They're all little.
I'm pretty sure it was
Just grab the one off your Sunny, or is there one in there? Okay. All right, 103 and 109. You have 10 seconds to get there. Because I'm gonna put my clippies away.
I'm done.
I only have little ones left. Pick one. 6, 5, 4.
Maybe
Three,
just 109.
Because we need the story on page 103 and we need our graphic organizer on page 109. Remember I talked about how for some reason our book doesn't have them right next to each other and I don't know why. Alright, 5th grade book is not going to help me very much because this is not my 5th grade. 4th grade book. I'm like, why does my book not match your book? Mrs. Vale. Alright, so here's what I want you to do. I want you on page 103 to put your finger on panel number 1. Finger on panel number 1. Show me that you know where we're starting. I want your finger to point to panel number 1. Does that say 1? Panel number 1. Beautiful. Panel 1. Panel 1. Ryan, where's panel 1? Okay, so panel 1. So today our job is to pay attention to these graph. Remember yesterday?
Yes.
Okay.
We did not get our pizza.
We did not get our pizza yesterday.
Pizza?
Our sticker, right where this pizza chart right now. Because we didn't get our job done, right? We're actually finishing yesterday's job. Today, we do have some fun things planned, but we have to get our job done. And can we get our job done if we're making lots of noises?
No.
Okay. I know it's an exciting day. Totally get that, you guys. So let's be focused for a little bit so we can have some fun. All right, so today we are going to focus on text features, visual text features, things that we can see in the text that help us to better understand the story, and maybe they give us some new information. So please follow along as I read panel 1. Everyone's fingers should be on panel 1.
I'm done. I'm done.
Yep, I have a lot of you there. I just have one person we are waiting for. Panel 1, my friends. In the United States, citizens elect their government representatives. That means the people who live and work in a town, city, or state vote for many of the members of their government. So stop and think about that just for a second. It tells me in the text, you know, we previewed this text on Monday, that when we are in a town or a city or a state in the United States, many people, many times we elect our representatives. Representatives are people who kind of stand up for our city. So if we have an elected representative of Sioux City, they are someone who kind of speaks for all the people who live in that city. Okay, same thing for if we have a state level representative, they might have to go to Washington, D.C., to the White House, and they might have to speak for all of the people of Iowa, right? So we want to make sure that we are electing people who are going to do what's best for our city or who are going to do what's best for our state, okay? So in panel 1, I see a picture. Because I don't know about you guys, but when I was in 4th grade, I didn't really do much voting. Do you guys do much voting?
No. Yes. I vote for candy.
You vote for, you might have classroom votes, right? But how many of you are able to vote in a real election? How many of you are going to vote for the president?
I vote for Joe Biden.
He's not even running. But you can't, right? You have to be 18 to vote. So we have a text feature in panel 1. What text feature do we see in panel 1?
Picture.
A picture. Is it an illustration or a photograph?
Photograph.
It is a photograph. Okay, so on page 109, we're flipping back and forth. We're going to write down our type of text feature. Okay, so we have a photograph. Underneath, not underneath the photograph, inside the photograph we have some words. Those words are called labels. Labels are words that help us understand parts of the photograph. Okay, so page 109, I want you to write photograph and labels.
And labels.
Photograph and labels on page 109. It looks just like my page 109.
This,
You're going to write photograph and labels.
I'm just saying, is this one of your students? Because I just found him in the corner.
photos, thank you.
Can I keep? Oh, what?
Quickly, friends, photograph and labels. Some of you have not started writing yet. I'm not sure why.
I'm done.
Yeah, and some of you are done, which is the case. We should be. Nope, we took a pen and we keep it. We don't keep switching. Okay. So the labels in our photograph, if you have written that, we flip back to the first page, back to panel 1, page 103. We have a label that says voters, and you guys notice how it has like a little arrow pointing down? It's pointing to the people. Those people are the voters. They are voting for
We
something.
can tell if they're photographed.
Yes, and we also have another label that says voting booths. A voting booth. So I'm going to model for you my thinking. When I see a photograph with labels, I need to use that photograph to better help me understand what is happening in our story. Okay? This image helps to support the text that I read in panel 1. By looking at this image, you can join my second grade group later if you would like to. But for now, we're in fourth grade.
We gotta make we'll get our pizza.
When I look at this picture, I can now visualize the people standing in their voting booth. That helps me to understand the text better when it talks about we're voting for our representatives. I can also infer, it's not exactly stated, but I can make an inference that these people had to go to a special place. Right, remember we talked about inferences a couple weeks back. Inferences, we use our schema, stuff we already know, plus clues in the text. They can be text features or the words to help us figure something out the author didn't tell us. The author did not say I have to go somewhere special to vote, but I can see that. This does not look like someone's house. Right? This looks like those people had to drive or walk to get to a place where they can place a vote. So how does this information support the text? Well, this is what I came up with. I think that it supports the text by showing me what voting looks like. So on 109, if you would fill in that middle column where it says supports the text, how does the photograph and label support the text? It shows us what voting looks like. And this text feature also gives me some additional information that the text didn't say. We talked about that already. I now know that the voting booth is private, right? I actually use something like this in my class. I call them offices, right? When my groups are taking tests, they have these folders that are up. Yeah, you can call them different things, but that's what I'm reminded of. My schema is that I use what I call offices when my kids, it's okay, when my kids are taking assessments, and that's what the voting booths remind me of. They're private. No one can see what vote you are making because your vote is your own. No one else should tell you how to vote. What, my friend?
When the teachers take like their test, what to do you guys have folders too?
Well, we don't usually take tests in a group of people. Usually we take them by ourselves.
No, like if you go like in the first grade hallway in that room, do you know where if you guys take tests, you guys have test folders?
I know what you're talking about. No, we don't usually use folders. They trust teachers to not peek at other teachers' answers.
Is it like on the computer?
Yeah, usually.
Because I've been in there to get a charger. Keep it on.
All right, so our first text feature was what again? What's the first text feature, Ryan, that we saw on panel 1?
I got it.
Photographs and labels.
Oh, wow.
How did that support the text, Sarah? How did that help me understand the text? What did it show us? Yeah, what it looks like, that whole process. Next Tuesday, friends, you guys don't have school because it's election day. And our school is a place where people come to vote. Our school kind of looks like this next week. You guys aren't here because, yeah, that's why you guys don't have school, is because we are a polling location, which means people can come here to vote. So you guys get to stay home because there's a lot of grown-ups who come here and vote. On Tuesday of next week, next Tuesday, you don't have school.
Let's go.
Okay? You don't have any school on Tuesday because of voting. paper. You'll have, your parents know. It's on the calendar. They know there's no school.
Wait, I thought
I bet they
don't have
they send out emails about it.
Yeah, my mom.
They send out phone calls about it, and I'm sure if you talk to your teacher, she can give you a paper. But I'm sure your parents know. The school district does a good job of letting them know.
Experienced parents come here to vote too.
Yes, if they live in the area.
What?
Next Tuesday. Talk to your teacher. Talk to Miss Vonder. It'll be okay, I promise. Let's stay back on track. All right, so our photographs and labels help us by showing us what voting looks like. It also gives me some new information. What is one piece of new information, Catalina, that I got from my text teacher? Very good. The voting booths are private, and that voting is done in a special place. What's your question, Sarah? For yes, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
No, school.
It should be on the promise you'll be okay. Alright, so here is our job for the next 6 minutes. Okay? I'm going to read a little bit. You guys are gonna help me read. We're gonna identify 2 more text features. How do they support the text? And what new information did I learn? So panel 2, I'm gonna read that one because it's not very long. It says these members represent the people at different levels of government. Do we have any text features in that panel?
Yeah.
We do. What do we have?
Wow.
Panel 2, what text feature do I have? Justin, what do I have in panel 2? Do I have a photograph? Do I have an illustration? Do I have a chart? Do I have a graph? What do you think this is in panel 2? Is it a photograph? Did I take it with a camera? Or is it an illustration? Illustration, right? I drew it. So should we write that down for our next text feature?
Yeah,
I think that makes sense. So, under the text feature in your second box, we have an illustration. Illustration. How does that illustration support the text? What is that an illustration of? Justice.
It's about these pictures.
And what are those pictures of? The federal, state, and local what? Government, right? So it supports the text by showing how many levels of government? How many levels? 2,
3.
What is it?
3.
Look at your illustration.
Federal,
Federal,
state,
local. So there are 3 levels of government. And I'm going to shorten the word government. G-O-V''T. Remember, an apostrophe takes the place of some letters. So instead of writing out the whole big word government, we're going to shorten it to G-O-V''T. So what new information did I gather? I can see that there's 3 levels of government. What new information did I get from that? Nothing? Did I know what the 3 levels were before?
No. Yes.
I might have known it, but we haven't really talked about it in the text yet. Okay? So this helped me know what the levels were.
The class next door is going crazy.
Yes, it's just that kind of day.
I gotta tell you.
All right. Justice, if you're done ready, will you go ahead and read panel 3 for us, please?
Local governments make choice about how to run towns and the cities. State government makes and
Enforce.
enforce laws for states. The federal government
Nice job. Nice reading there. So local governments do what? What do local governments do? We talked about this way back on Monday or Tuesday.
About how to run towns and cities.
Towns and cities. They are the ones that talk about what we're going to do here in Sioux City, right? Those are local governments. What do state governments do?
I don't know.
If local makes choices about a local city, what do you think a state government would do? Justice read it. Look back at your text. They make choices about the state, right? If our local government, if our city government, we would kind of think of it like little circles. Okay, so we're on panel 3. Local governments make choices about how to run towns and cities. State government, so they're bigger. They make choices about enforcing laws for the state. And the federal government, the biggest level of government, does what, Sarah?
Wait, isn't the normal government?
For the nation.
Isn't the government, like the normal government, the biggest one?
The normal government. Well, they're all part of the United States. They just have a different focus.
Because our class we learned about the government,
That is not
government is the biggest one.
The federal government, yep, the federal, that's why I was doing this when Sarah was talking about making laws for the nation. The federal government is the biggest level of government. They have the most important job of making sure that the whole country is following the laws and the rules that have been established.